Cookies. All right, like cookies.
All right, everybody, can you hear me? No? Yeah? Okay. 13,506 people were here tonight. We did a gate of 1.333 million. Fight of the night is Brown and Mean.
Yeah! Oh, finally!
KO of the night was, there was no submission, so there's 2 KOs of the night tonight, which is very tough to decide tonight. There's so many great knockouts, but we go with Thomson and Romero. And no submission of the night, every one of those guys won $50,000. So congratulations to them. Any questions? Who's got the first one? Kevin Ioli. Right up here in the front, Kevin.
2 questions, I guess. I wanted to get you to comment on the card overall. It was one of the best cards I'd ever seen, and I wanted to get you to comment on that.
Thank
and then,
you.
secondly, on the main event, a lot of controversy over the scoring in the main event. The judges they were all over the map, as I think were the media. What did you think, and do you feel Gil deserves a rematch?
Yeah, so great fight. I agree. We almost broke the record tonight for most knockouts ever on a UFC card. We tied UFC 92. And then, yeah, I mean, after the fight, we went back and I talked to, everybody was talking about how they scored the fight. And, some people had it a draw. Some people had Ben winning. I mean, it was one of those fights. It's a Ben Henderson fight. I mean, every fight, as soon as it's over, they're asking if the guy's going to get an immediate rematch. It's all of his fights go to decisions and controversial decisions. And I think that, for Gil's first time of ever fighting in the UFC in a big fight on the main event, he came out and brought it tonight. And, I don't know what to say.
Gil, was there any way that you thought you lost the fight when it ended?
I thought I won the first 2 and 5th for sure. I took my foot off the gas a little after the second. Third was close, and I felt like it came strong. And I thought it was going to come down to the last round, and I thought I won the last round. But yeah, I got to watch it. Ben's a stud. What could I say?
Yeah, and I think that's what he just said is key too. There, that second round. It depends on how you scored that second round on who wins the fight.
And the last thing I wanted to ask you, Gil, do you feel like there's anything, it seemed like you were doing better in 1 and 2 than you were in the middle of the fight. Was there anything that he made an adjustment on that was changing the way the fight was going?
No, like I said, I took my foot off the gas a little. I knew I had the first 2 rounds, in my opinion, the first 2, and I thought I was doing good the third. I let off when he got the takedown maybe, and that's my own fault. And then, but I totally felt like I turned it up in the 5th, and, I thought I won that. But yeah, I took my foot off the gas. He adjusted pretty well as well.
John, yeah, go ahead.
Thank you.
You wanted it, right?
Yeah, for sure. Gil, you mentioned, you're obviously not making excuses. You're taking a lot of responsibility for what happened. But, do you feel this is a fight that's worthy of a rematch? Or do you feel that, the fight's over and you have to move on?
This is like my 12th, 13th, 5-minute round fight I've been training for. It doesn't matter right now. if I do 3 fights my next fight, that'd be okay. If I got a rematch, great too. You know what I mean? It's up to the boss right here. Just happy to be working for these guys, and right next to this is what I've been waiting for my whole career, and I just got to look at this. This is a dream come true just to be here right now.
What does the boss think? Is this a fight that's worthy?
I love
of
his
doing it?
attitude, man. I love hearing that.
Yeah. But no decision on a rematch. Or anything
You know,
like that,
you know I don't do this tonight.
Sure.
But you guys will ask me anyway.
We got to do our job. Daniel, since you're here, please. Obviously, congratulations on the win tonight. But I saw in your post-fight quotes you admitted that you really weren't happy with your performance. Thought you were a little bit flat, maybe nerves. Can you just talk about the performance in general?
Is this on? Okay. You know what, man? I've I've had a very long athletic career, and I've competed at the highest levels of all my sports. And I always kind of laughed at Dana when he said, there's jitters and there's nerves that come along with this. And I was like, my career has prepared me for this. There's no chance that but man, I was nervous today. Like, I felt so nervous. It's almost like you want it so bad and you want to do so well. And then it's like you just kind of, I kind of lay an egg a little bit. And I didn't fight the fight I wanted to. I didn't fight the fight I wanted to. And you know what? More than anything, I felt tired, and I've never gotten tired. I usually am in a fight, and I feel great, and I can go long, And in this fight, for some reason, I was very tired, and I think it was my nerves. I was very nervous in the back. I felt like my legs were kind of weird, but, I went in there, and I fought, and I fought as well as I could. Wasn't ideal, but, if you can feel bad and beat a guy that's a two-time champion across the board, there's got to be some positive in that.
Going into this fight, a lot of the talk was about what comes next for you after this fight, whether it's 205, whether it's featherweight. You kind of deferred to the UFC and said it's kind of up to them. But your performance tonight, does that have any impact on your positioning?
No, dude, I didn't lose. It's really gonna be a team decision. We've got to get together with the UFC and with my management team and everybody else and figure out what the next step is. Even if they, me personally, even if they said, well, you're going to fight Cain Velasquez next, I don't think that performance warranted a title shot. So, I've got some room. But, we'll get together and figure it out. If they say, well, Daniel, if your intention is to be a 205-pounder down the line and we need you to do it now, then I guess that's what I have to do. So, it's going to be a team decision.
Couple questions for Josh, please. Josh, in the quote the UFC sent, it said you played this fight in your mind hundreds of times and saw a bunch of different outcomes. How many times did you see it kind of going the way it did in with the spectacular knockout and the head kick?
I didn't see it going this way at all, to be honest. I played it in my head, like I said, over 100 times. And honestly, I played it probably about 50 of those times I lost. And I know it's probably a hard pill to swallow for some of you guys to believe that, but you have to be prepared for every scenario, and I had to make sure I fought a good fight. And I just picked them apart, and that in my mind was making sure that I implemented my game plan, didn't get caught up into all the banter and all the other crap, and went out there and did my job. And when I do that, I feel like I'm one of the best guys in the world.
We heard what Daniel had to say about his first time in the octagon. Of course, not your first time, but it's been 8 or 9 years. Just what was that feeling like going in there, and how'd it feel?
It's just like coming home. I started my career here, and not 100% sure I'm going to finish it here. So, all you guys know, and I get this question every time, oh, you're getting older and blah, 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 and I'm tired of hearing all that hoopla. But guess what? I will finish my career here. I'm happy to be here. Honestly, I would have never left. I'd be here still to this day, and it's just, I think I've proven it over and over again with guys I fight, and it's uncontrollable circumstances that put me in a way I had to leave the UFC, and I had to make money and a job and get experience to still being a fighter and live my dream. I'm back here, and it was meant to be. That's all I can say. It was meant to be.
Daniel, this is a question that fighters get a lot, but were you aware of the boos from your hometown? It looked like when the crowd started booing, those long clinches against the fence, a couple times you did back away almost and let Frank walk away from the cage. Did you hear that at all? And
you can't ignore it. Obviously you're going to continue to fight your fight, but you can't ignore it. And that's something that I really don't like. I want to put on exciting fights. I want to be in fights where people are enjoying it. I think I made some mistakes in my training camp. I can't not wrestle. That's going to limit me if I ever do that because a guy has a good ground game. I've got to be willing to fight everywhere. And by training the whole time to not wrestle, it limited me. And then you saw what happened. I once grabbed Frank's leg, and you know, I could have took him down, but I kind of let it go, you know. So I've got to get better in jiu-jitsu so that I'm comfortable with anyone on the ground.
I don't think a decision for you whether to drop weight or stay at heavyweight, that's something you want to figure out pretty quickly, right? Because you've said if you're going to drop it could take you 5-6 months.
Well, it's going to take some time, you know, and that's the issue, you know. When I do sit down with Dana and Lorenzo and everybody from the UFC, and I say, you know, what are we going to do? You know, what do we want? What are we thinking we want to do? It's how soon do you want me to fight? You know, I'm healthy, and I'd be willing to fight right away at heavyweight. But if I have to go down, it's going to take some time. I want to do it healthy. I don't want to die.
That's understandable. And then real quick question for Matt. You had a good performance. You want to talk about just this win? Does it mean a lot to you? And then I saw in the statement that you gave the UFC that you are thinking about a title shot. You think you're creeping up there in the top 10, top 5 in the division?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be coming to work every day if I wasn't thinking about a title shot. That's what that's what I do every day, man. That's my dreams, and that's the only goal on my mind. I'm not, getting up every day getting punched in the face so I can make, a couple $1,000s. You know what I mean? And just because a bunch of media people don't believe that I'm good enough for a title shot doesn't mean that it's true. I train very hard every day, and I train with some of the best people in the world at all the different martial arts. And I believe that my time is coming, and I just think things are coming my way more and more now, and I'm going to be ready for a title shot in the future.
Hey, down here. Dana, I talked to Stitch after, in between fights. He says Nate has a really bad cut in the top of his head, was down to the bone. I noticed you and Nate were having a conversation in the cage afterwards. I was just curious what you guys were talking about.
It was personal stuff.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. And Gilbert, for you, at the end of a lot of the rounds, it seems like, I don't know if Benson was trying to steal the round or whatever, I guess it kind of depends on how you scored that. But there were times when the action seemed to sort of overflow after the bell and you guys were getting pretty intense. Was there any verbal discourse between the two of you, or was it just the fact that things were heating up, with the fight? Because you guys seemed pretty cordial leading up to this event.
Yeah, it's a fight. That you said it right there. This isn't St. basketball or baseball. It's a fight. The guy's trying to hit me. You got to go till the ref pulls you off, and it was cool. He tried to get one in. I tried to get one in at the buzzer. It's just part of the game. Nothing bad.
And lastly, Dana, Money Mendes has won 3 fights in under 4 minutes total. What are you going to do with him?
That's a good question. No, he looked great, man. And every time he fights, he looks great. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I think just a comment. So Joe, Chad, and TJ, excellent job tonight. You guys all looked really good.
Refer to us as Mendes please.
That's up to you guys. But you guys all look good. I think the gym's going to be proud of the performances. Gil, warrior performance tonight. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. Great job. Once again, DC, great stuff. Josh, at the end of the fight, you looked to your corner just before the decision was read, and you said you lipped something like that was perfect, or that was, something like that. So can you talk about that?
Well, like I said, I played this fight over my head 100 times, and I never played it going out like this. And so to me, this was a perfect fight. I fought smart. I didn't fight stupid. I did the things I needed to do, and I didn't get caught up in the banter. That was the biggest thing. In the second fight with Gil, when him and I fought, I was getting frustrated. I got caught up in the brawl, and it cost me my title. So I told myself I would never do that again. Go out there, just implement my game plan, and I think it showed tonight.
Daniel, now that you're past this fight, is there anybody in this division in heavyweight right now that you really are looking at and somebody you really want to take on?
Not really. I'm just going to kind of play it by ear, see what happens. Obviously, this is the show. I've said it time and time again. If you got the best people working in the best positions, and they're going to give me a call. They're going to say, Daniel, this is the guy you're fighting. I'm going to start training camp, and I'm going to show up ready to fight.
I know, Daniel, you don't like talking about matchmaking, but where do you see him? In 6 months and 12 months, do you see Daniel staying here or going down 205?
Well, again, I don't tell guys where to go. That they can fight wherever they want. I respect the fact that, that he and the champ even discussed fighting each other. I like that. But if he wanted to go 205, I wouldn't have a problem with that either. I think he'd be an exciting addition to the 205-pound division.
For the alpha male guys, obviously for you two, each of you, great performances. Staked a real claim at a title shot, but for each of you as well, there's a delay until the next shot in your division. So I'd just like to hear from you two guys, from Joseph and Chad, kind of what you see for the future of the rest of the year. Would you be willing to kind of sit around and wait for the champ to see if that title shot materializes, or do you feel like you have to stay busy?
I mean, I would really like to fight for the title this year, but I mean, ultimately, it's up to the UFC and these guys. I mean, like he says, he doesn't know what the hell's going to happen. So right now, I'm going to take a little bit of time off. I mean, that was 3 camps back to back to back for me, and I just want to rest for a couple weeks. But like I said, hopefully this year I'll be fighting for the title.
Same with me. Probably by the end of the year. I plan on it. I'm ready for it. I'm always ready for it. Even after the last fight, I think I could have, made a claim to go right for the title shot again. But, I seem like I just fought Mighty Mouse, the day before. So, I think I made it pretty vocal that I wanted to improve and just, fight again and just keep doing it. And, worked out perfectly. Mighty Mouse got injured anyway, and he's out. I hope he's healing fast. And, the fight he has with Moraga is going to be an excellent fight. And, I'd love to fight the winner. I'm always ready for a title shot. But, until then, I'm still improving it, if I need to fight anyone else too.
Sure. And one for TJ, if I could, please. Obviously, fantastic performance as well. The whole team did great. Uriah did great last week. Everybody's pointing, of course, to Bang Ludwig as the reason. But can you put into words exactly what it is? I mean, why is this? You guys are on a heck of a run since he came in. What exactly is the changes? What's happening?
I believe we had the talent already in our gym. We had all the talent in the world. Ludwig's just came in and kind of perfected it. Changed some small things, kept us accountable, and we always showed up to practice. But it's kind of staying on us. It's hard having fighters coaching fighters. That's what we were doing this whole time. And having Ludwig step in and just taking that head coach role has helped out a lot. Picking apart our little techniques that we need to fix, and he's a great guy. Just so much knowledge poured into me every day. It's insane.
Ben, congratulations twice, I guess. So, when the fight ended, any doubt that you had won?
No, I wouldn't say any doubt that I had won. I knew it was close. I had thought that perhaps I'd lost the first round. I knew that, and then I thought I won the next 4. But I knew it was going to be close. I didn't think it was going to be a split, but, it is what it is.
When you say, what did you think was going your way in the fight? I mean, it seemed like, especially early in the fight, that Gil was able to back you up. I mean, you seemed to change it maybe as the fight went on. But what did you think was going well for you?
Like you said, I thought he did a great job of dictating, going forward and making me back up. Thank you so much. Making me back up, and then after the first round, I did a little bit better job of me going forward, not backing up, circling, making sure I get to the center of the octagon, pushing forward, pushing outwards. Then after that, the leg kicks, all the punches landed, a couple of good elbows landed, and then some of those takedowns as well.
And can you tell us a little bit about the decision to propose in the ring? I'm sure that wasn't a spur of the moment thing. So, kind of a tough thing to do sometimes in public like that.
It is, right?
Yeah.
Dude, seriously,
I give you a
hard like a butterfly.
What was tougher, that or the fight?
That was definitely takes its cake. No, but like I was saying earlier before last fight, there's a lot more important things in life than fighting. I love fighting. I love to pay my bills. I like the lifestyle I'm able to live, but sometimes you got to take care of other things that are a lot more important. I decided for sure. I knew I was going to ask at some point in time. I decided for sure it was going to be after the fight. Today, I was on the fence about it, going back and forth. Then today, I said, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to follow through. I'm going to go through with it. And then I manned up and did it.
In any way, does that take the edge off your nerves? Because obviously you're fighting one of the great fighters in the world, and you have that, instead of worrying, thinking about him and obsessing about the fight, you're thinking about something else. Did that help you take the edge off?
To a certain extent, there's always bigger things in life. I'm very aware of how small fighting really matters in the grand scheme of things. Really, wife, kids, family, seriously. Fighting, there's a lot bigger things in life. So I'm able to keep it in perspective. And with the trying to make a proposal and everything, that helped me keep it in perspective for sure.
Benson, I just wanted to follow up on the proposal thing. You said it was running through your head today, and that's when you decided for sure you were going to do it. I mean, what made you so confident that, like, all right, today it's going to happen? What made that decision?
I don't know. I'm not sure. There's nothing that, something concretely happened, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do it today for sure. It was just, I was tossing the idea back and forth. I brought the ring with me just in case I decided to go through with it and do it. I was on the fence to go all week, doing the media interviews and stuff. I was on the fence, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I got to do it. I'm a man up. I'm gonna do it. I had the plan set in my head. Like, okay, I'm going to.
And then a follow up too for Josh, please. Josh, assuming you got to watch it, what were your thoughts on the main event? And you made it really well known that you wanted to fight Gil for a 4th time, but how much were you thinking about fighting Benson after what happened tonight?
I respect both guys tremendously. I mean, they're both great competitors, but ultimately it's not my decision. I just felt like I put everything that I possibly could into this fight, did what I could to be impressive, and it put me up there. It's not my decision though, and so, if they honor it, if they're willing to throw me up there, then I'm definitely not turning that shit down. So.
No cussing, dude. No cussing.
Benson, you mentioned that you thought you lost the first round. It seemed like kind of a slow start for you tonight. Was was it just something that Gilbert was doing, or did you feel it was a slow start for you? What do you think?
No, definitely something that Gilbert was doing. He's, hats off to him. He's a great fighter. He's been pound for pound for a long, long time, up there, top 2, top 3 and stuff. So I definitely, I'm not going to take anything away from him and say it was just me, I started slow. No, not at all. It was hats off to Gil because he's tough as heck and he did what he needed to do and made me start slow. It wasn't like, oh, I just started slow. It was me doing a bad job, blah, blah. That's disrespectful to your opponent, No, I started slow because Gil made me start slow.
And obviously, you're no stranger to rematches. There are some people calling for a rematch because it was a split decision. It was such a competitive fight. Does that interest you at all, or do you feel like maybe you'll see him somewhere else down the line?
At 155, the division is so stacked, so deep. There's the top 5 guys are all like this far apart. They're very close. The top 5 guys, top 10 guys at 155. Do I imagine I will be seeing Gil again? Yeah, I'll be seeing Gil again. He's gonna want to beat the crap out of me. So I'll be seeing Gil again. I don't know if it'll be an immediate rematch. If it is, it is. Cool. Sounds good to me. Let's do it. Let's run it back. But Josh, like there's a lot of guys at 155 who are pretty tough, pretty good, who all want to beat me up.
Well, would you have gone through with the marriage proposal if you had lost the decision?
I don't know. That wouldn't be the best look.
Take one more question. Anybody have another question? Dave Meltzer.
For Gil, I mean, what kind of are your thoughts right now coming off of this? I mean, I know you think that you won the fight. A lot of people thought you won the fight. What was your thoughts when the decision was read, and what are your thoughts now, reflecting on it a little bit later?
Just heartbroken, bro. That's it, man. My heart's broken. That's about it. I mean, that's it.
Gray Maynard is ranked number 3. TJ Grant is ranked number 7. Those guys are going to fight at UFC 160 on May 25th. The winner of that fight will fight Ben Henderson next. There you go. You got one. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you.